Hello and welcome to my channel where we talk about dreams, direction, and doing the impossibles. Today's episode is going to be a game changer for those who are thinking of pursuing higher education. Let's talk about something everyone's thinking about: why study abroad in 2026? Have you ever noticed how lakhs of Indians students are flying abroad to pursue their high studies? In 2026, this number is only going to go up. So, to give you a background, in early 2000, so around 1999, 2000, 2001, so the number of students who were moving to abroad was around 50,000 to 80,000, and approximately like maximum 1 lakh students who were actually moving from India to abroad. And that number has actually grown from just 1 lakh in 2000 to now 1.8 million students every year in 2025. So that means 18 lakh students have traveled from India to abroad. But why? What's the real reason behind this massive shift? Let me break it down for you. So, reason number one, the global shift. The world is changing very fast. New careers are being built in the fields such as AI, which is artificial intelligence, machine learning, sustainability, climate policy, prompt engineering, blockchain, cybersecurity, virtual reality, and many more. And guess what? Top universities abroad are 2 to 3 years ahead than the Indian institutions such as IITs and IIMs. So, if I talk about the non IITs and IIMs, abroad top universities are actually 5 to 15 years ahead than the Indian syllabus, curriculum, or education, whatever you name it. And when you study abroad, you just don't get a degree. You actually get a global exposure, internships, experiences, opportunities for you to work on live industry relevant projects. And the most importantly, what you're going to get is the global network, which is majorly missing in the Indian education, right? So you're in an environment where innovation is happening in real time. So the reason number two, skill and the lifestyle. Education abroad is a complete package. It's not just about books, it's research, real world work, and personal growth all at once. You study during the day and work part time in the evening and build your future while you're in the college. And yes, the lifestyle, infrastructure, and independence is at the next level. So, reason number three, studying abroad has been affordable than studying in India. Let me break it down for you. So, these are some of the reasons why people are choosing studying abroad over studying in India. The first and the foremost reason is access to wide range of universities abroad. So back then, you had very limited number of consultants, limited number of companies, and very limited information on internet where you get information about universities, and you were mainly relying on your seniors, your family people, your network, people those have moved to abroad for higher education. Based on their recommendation, based on their information and feedback, you were taking decisions, right? So now you don't need to rely on anyone. So there's huge access to plenty of universities in abroad where you can pick and choose based on your preferences. Too many study abroad consulting companies now. So back then in early 2000s, so majorly the study abroad consulting companies were proprietorship companies or small time companies or individual freelance consultants. But now in 2025, you actually get a host of companies where they are not only going to help you with just admissions, but also with scholarships, with applications, with your flight ticket booking, forex exchange, opening bank account, health insurance, and A to Z. You name it, you are going to get that particular services from these companies. And too many options of countries. This is a third reason why study abroad is increasingly becoming popular among Indian students for them to move to abroad is the number of countries. Earlier, back then, in early 2000, the dream was to move to America. So dream America. So for Indians, America was the number one destination, and even today, there's no doubt US is the number one destination for India, but that is not the only destination for Indian students now. So you have Canada, UK, Ireland, New Zealand, Australia, you have Europe, and you also have some of the Asian countries where uh, education is actually becoming international standard, the world standard. So people move to Singapore, people move to South Korea, and for few reasons, even China, because the education system is actually good. Uh, if you know Chinese, it's much better for you to survive in China. And the fourth reason is too many scholarship options. Earlier, people were heavily reliable on the personal finance. If they had the bank guarantee, assets, for them to submit it to the banks. Only the rich people were actually thinking of were thinking of studying abroad, because you need to have some good solid proof of funds. Otherwise, it used to become very difficult for poor background or middle class people to actually study in abroad, unless they have a very high scholarship. But that is now changing day by day. Okay, so now there are too many scholarship options where students can actually apply, avail scholarships, and then move to abroad for their higher education. So easy to get bank loans these days. So the fifth reason is, these days banks have developed their own study abroad wing, where they collaborate with foreign universities so that they make the education loan available for Indian students in India, right? So which actually helps not only banks to actually grow their portfolio outside India, but also helps people like us, middle class, people, to move from one country to other country to pursue our dream education. And sixth reason, Indian education has become more and more expensive these days, guys. So now let me give you an example. So if you want to study, let's say, master's program in India, so let's say from the top premier institutions in India, which is, let's say, IIMs, the cost can be somewhere between 20 lakhs to 60 lakhs, right? But the same, if you have 20 to 60 lakh rupees of money funds available at your disposal, you can do a master's degree in an abroad university in abroad with the same kind of fund. And here's what you get global and international exposure. And whereas in IIM, forget about getting an admission, studying from graduating from IIM, getting into IIM is not an easy task, because we have something called CAT exam, and very hardly few percentage of people are only able to crack CAT exam and then get into IIM. Otherwise, it becomes really difficult. And for students, those who are aiming at IIMs and they're not able to make it up to IIMs, the next option for them is definitely going to be an abroad education, right? So reason number four. So 2025 to 2030 is going to be a turning point for many of us. So as I mentioned before, so 1.8 million went to study abroad in 2025, and that number is going to go to somewhere between 7 to 8 million by 2030. So as I have already mentioned you the reasons, so now let's talk about why this era is such a crucial and important time. So countries are changing their policies. Canada is reducing their intake. UK is reviewing its graduate route. Australia is tweaking its PR rules. But here's the twist. Countries like Germany, France, Ireland, South Korea are opening up new opportunities for international students, especially Indian students. New scholarships, no IELTS program requirement, and dual degree courses. 2026 is your window to make a move. And if you want to move to abroad in 2026, 2025 is when you have to start thinking about your application, because on an average you need about 6 months to 12 months to prepare your application. So to understand the requirements and to mentally prepare yourself as well as your family, so you will need at least this much of time. So for next year fall intake, fall 2026 intake, which opens up in the month of August September 2026. So you have to be ready by mentally be prepared by this year August September 2025, right? So fifth reason, so career launchpad, guys. The main reason for any students to pursue a master's degree is they want that particular platform to be their career launch pad. It seems like you have built a rocket, okay? So now you need a launch pad to launch that rocket, right? You have built an aeroplane, okay? Now you need a runway to launch, take off that particular aeroplane. So similarly, so master's degree is actually gives you that kind of launch pad. So studying abroad is not just about escaping from India. It's about elevating your future to next level. So you return with global skills, confidence, and a mindset ready for any kind of challenge. Employers love graduates with either IIM or the top tier institution background or an international degree background because they know how to solve problems and lead teams across cultures. Whether you want to work in Bangalore, Berlin, or in Boston, you will have the tools to thrive. So tell me, are you planning to study abroad in 2026? Drop your dream country in the comments and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon because this is just the beginning of my study abroad series. We will be talking about scholarships, countries, timelines, and more. Stay tuned. See you in the next one.